Okay, wasn't sure it was going to work there. I was doing something weird. So we'll see if y'all can see me and there's not any issues today. Jax West from Stephen Avery Project, MAM Gossip, Justice with Jax. I know we have been going over the Brendan jail calls, but right now this video is going to be a miscellaneous of things. Nobody's on here yet, so I don't know if there's Kat. Okay, so I can be seen. I wasn't sure because even I just tried to post an article. Well, I posted it on Stephen Avery Project, and then I tried to share it from there, and there was an error, and so I had to go to each place individually and put it. So, hello, Kat. So we may do another video after this one where we'll go back into the jail calls, but I wanted this one to now be a miscellaneous of things that are going on right now. First thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna this journalist, Kelly Wynn from Newsweek, she always messages Stephen Avery Project when she writes a new article on the case. And so this literally just came in. I haven't read it yet. So we're going to read it here. Actually, I should bring it to my other side so I can see you all while I'm reading this and it's not blocking it. And hello, Carol Ann. So the headline is Brendan Dassey of Making a Murderer ineligible for pardon, according to Wisconsin governor. Oh, let me post the link in here for you all, too, so you have it in here if you want to read for yourself. It says Brendan Dassey will not be pardoned for the murder of Teresa Halbach. Wisconsin Governor Tony Evers sent a letter to Dassey on Friday that denied the Making a Murderer subject's plea for clemency. Evers denied the request on the grounds that Dassey was ineligible for consideration. Dassey's legal team was informed that their client did not meet two requirements that could allow him to be pardoned. Two bullet points were listed in the letter obtained by Wisconsin news channel WEAU. Quote, it has not been at least 5 years since you completed your entire sentence for the conviction you want to be pardoned, unquote, the letter stated. The second point said that Dassey must also register as a sex offender to be eligible for a pardon. The letter also specified that Evers isn't currently considering any request for commutation. This means he will not reduce the sentence Dassey is serving. Dassey's lawyer, Laura Nyrider, asked Evers to consider clemency for the 30-year-old. Wow, it's so hard to believe that Brendan is 30. Where'd it go? For the 30-year-old inmate in October. The request entailed either a full pardon, a grant of forgiveness from the state, which would free Dassey, or a commutation, which would reduce his prison sentence. Quote, Brendan Dassey was a 16-year-old intellectually disabled child when he was taken from his school and subjected to a uniquely and profoundly flawed legal process, unquote, Nyrider's petition read. That process rightly sought justice for Teresa Halbach, but it wrongly took a confused child's freedom in payment for her loss. Such a debt can never be justly repaid with the currency of innocence, unquote. Nyrider made a passionate statement about Dassey's future on October 2. Quote, in his quiet, hopeful, peaceful way, Brendan has now served more than 13 years behind bars with no chance of parole until 2048. The courts have been unable to deliver justice for him. We now ask Governor Evers to deliver that justice to bring Brendan home, unquote. Nyrider did not immediately respond to Newsweek's request for comment on Evers' refusal of her clemency request. Dassey is currently serving life in prison for Halbach's murder. He will be eligible for parole in 2048. His story went viral after it first premiered on Netflix's Making a Murderer documentary series. Along with his uncle, Stephen Avery, Dassey was convicted of a murder he claims he did not commit. Dassey originally confessed, though he later recanted his confession. He claims it was coerced by the investigators. Avery's lawyer, Kathleen Zellner, explained that Dassey's denied pardon will not change anything for her client, who has an appeal pending with the state of Wisconsin. Quote, "We are not surprised about the denial of Brendan Dassey's clemency request," unquote, Zellner told Newsweek on Friday. Quote, "We are saddened by this outcome, but it will have no effect on Mr. Avery's chances of success on his appeal," unquote. Making a Murderer has aired 2 parts, both of which have gained loyal and passionate fans who believe the men have been wrongfully convicted. The state is scheduled to respond to Avery's appeal in early 2020, while Dassey's case stalled after the United States Supreme Court declined to hear his request for a new trial. And that's the end of that article. So, not unexpected that Brendan was denied. I fully expected that, but it's sad. And let me see. Hi to James and Tom and Cindy and Debbie. All right, so that's the first thing I wanted to cover. Now that literally came in as I came up here to where I do my lives from, to go live. I saw that message to Stephen Avery Project. So that's first thing. Nope, Christine, haven't gotten to the special news. That will be last. All right. So the other thing, or another thing, is I received last night the inmate visitation history for Stephen. And it starts from January 26, 2010, till when visits were cut off due to COVID. Sarah says, so if Stephen gets let out, Brendan won't. Is that right? That's correct, Sarah, because they were tried 2 different cases. And the tough part with Brendan is he confessed. So there are people that believe Stephen is innocent, but Brendan is guilty, and that the stuff Brendan said happened, but somebody else did it. And then of course there's people that are the opposite, that believe Stephen is guilty and Brendan is innocent. But we here believe they're both innocent. But yeah, Sarah, there are 2 different cases. So Brendan doesn't automatically get out. At this point, you need to prove who killed Teresa Halbach and that Brendan was not involved. It's sad. And hello, Chelsea and Stephanie. Yep, I'm a tease. But that's something else that came from last night. So that the special news will be. All right. So when I go over these, the visitation logs for Stephen. Now, I have not done, I just got these, like I said, and I have not done the Brendan treatment to him when I got the Brendan logs. This is Brendan's. I'm so bad with getting on camera here. So this is Brendan's logs from 2010 till COVID that I had gone through. It's all color coded and everything of how many times people visited. So let me remind everybody what I have from Brendan, that Barb in those 10 years visited him 433 times. And Brendan's dad, Pete Dassey, visited him 350 times. And then you've got Pete brought his wife with him. Lori, Stephen's ex-wife, went a total of 64 times. Scott Taddock has gone 119. Bobby went 21 times. His wife, Kendra, went 17 times. His brother, Brian, went 11. And Blaine went 22. Alan Avery only has gone to see Brendan 1 time. Carla, 33 times. Dolores 13 times. So that's what we have from Brendan. And hello, Elizabeth and Christopher. Debbie, it is storming here and supposed to be bad the next several days. So that's Brendan's log. I only have Steven's now. I haven't printed it out and color coded it. And so I do not know the numbers offhand. And this visitation history actually has been redacted. Redacted means, they blacked out stuff. But what they've blacked out, it's very easy to figure out what it is. It's children's names. So Stephen's daughter Jennifer went and visited him sometimes, and her kids were there. And then a couple of times that Carla visited when and brought kids. So those names are redacted. So I guess we will count together. Do I even count how many times Sandra Greenman's gone? Because she's gone a bajillion times. And we all know Sandra is desperate to be seen as Steven's favorite. And when Steven doesn't do things her way, she goes to the tabloids and sells story and talks shit about Steven. And hello, Alex. Glad you're joining us today. Claire, all you've missed so far is I read the article that that Brendan's petition for clemency for his pardon was denied. So now we're about to get into how many times people have visited Steven since 2010. So let's go with Dolores Avery first. All right, so you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I know this is scintillating. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58. There's my name. 59, 60, 61, 62. So Dolores has visited Steven 62 times in 10 years. Um, let me go and see what I've missed. Um, if you've guys, hello, Sonia. What is this? It's a PDF. Mm-hmm. So the date range goes from March 9th, 2020 to, let me get down to the bottom for the exact date for the first one on here. January 26, 2010. Um okay, people answering. Okay, so that's how many times Dolores visited. Now let's do Alan Avery. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44. 44 times for Alan. So Dolores visited him roughly 20 more times. So Dolores 62, Alan 44. Let me scroll and see if I've missed anything I need to answer while I was counting. All right. Now we'll do Barb Taddock. And I'll also note the date that she visited. All right. So, how long do we see Barb? All right. So, Barb's first visit to Stephen was on November 3rd, 2014, was her first visit. And she went with her mom. All right, so there's one for Barb. And then she went in 2015 one time, so we're at two for Barb. So one in 2014, one in 2015. Up here's the second one in 2015, so we're at three. Now we're in 2016, four. Ugh, Lynn Hartman. All right, so Barb's gone a total of four times. And so the last time she went was in 2016. So after Making a Murderer came out, let me scroll back down and find the exact date. That was Barb's last time visiting. Where are you, Barb? Where the heck is it now? All the way in March. There it is. So January 9th, 2016 is the last time she went. So Making a Murderer came out in December of 2015. So that is right around the time when Kathleen Zellner took Stephen's case. Let me scroll up and see if I've missed any questions while I was counting that. Dolores doesn't really drive now, Dolores or Teresa. Alan does, but when Dolores goes now, somebody takes her. So like Earl will take her or Sandy. Um, Carol Ann teasing on who else visited. Um, so all right, now let's go into my BFF Carla Chase. The first time Carla visits is Christmas Day 2015. So that's right after Making a Murderer came out. So that's the first time Carla goes. One time. We're at one time there. All right. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 'All right, so we've got 15 is all she has visited. 15 times for Carla. Her last visit was September 17th, 2016. So Carla has not visited Stephen in 3.5 years. Carla is Stephen's niece who named herself the family spokesperson. So, being the family spokesperson, she's only gone to visit Stephen 15 times, and it was only in 2015 and 2016. At the very end of 2015, after Making a Murderer became a hit, is when she went. So, and the people who visit him now is, like I said, Sandy is all over it. Sandy visits a bajillion times. And now there's that Mark Hodnott dude who is doing stuff that, I'm sorry, I find very shady. That so claims to be that this dude's like a millionaire or whatever that lives in Australia. And so he does these fundraisers for Steven, but the money goes to Australia in an Australia account. I'm not understanding why it does that. And what Steven had said to me is, well, when I get out and I go to Australia, I have money already there. When he goes like on a vacation. I don't know. It's very weird. So when Mark Hodnott goes, he goes with Sandy, and then and sometimes he also goes with Carla, or not Carla, Sandy and Dolores. Dolores also. So if Earl doesn't bring her, Kayla. So like Kayla's last visit with Steven was on March 5th, 2020. Kayla is the one that went to the counselor and told the police that Brendan was crying and blah, blah, blah. And then she took it back on the stand. That's who Kayla is. And Kayla loves, loves, loves her grandma. At one point, Stephen was paying Kayla to be an at-home caregiver for Dolores. And then somebody stole money from Dolores. And instantly the family pointed fingers at Kayla. Because this family gets really brutal towards Kayla. Like one of the times that I went up there to visit, they were just, it was Chuck and Carla and Stacy and Barb and Scott, and all of them together were just saying all these horrible things about Kayla. And I'm like, Jesus, she's just a little girl. They were really brutal. So according to this, so like the last page goes from March 9th, through so it's November 30th through March 9th. Okay? So the only people visiting him are the Australian dude, Sandy, Al, Dolores, Kayla. That's it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 people. Because I know an excuse that like Carla likes to give when we point out that she never goes and visits these people is they're only allowed so many people on their list. Well, there's only 5 people that are visiting Stephen. So now when I look through November through July, it's those same 5 peoples plus Earl. Oh, should we count how many times Earl has visited? Let's count Earl. His loving brother Earl, who cares so deeply about Stephen. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 19 for Earl. Earl has visited over 10 years, 19 times. He first started visiting. Still scrolling back up to find it. June 4th, 2016 was the first time he visited. So after making a murderer. So nothing before. Teresa says, what about Kim Duquette, Stephen's cousin? Besides his parents, she is the only other family member that actually believed in his innocence. All right, Kim Duquette. I know from when I've glanced on here, when I've looked through here, she's not on here very much. But I know, well, I'll get into that in a minute. All right, so let me find Kim and the first time she visited. Still scrolling. There she is. So her first visit was 12/8/2015. So a year before, or no, not a year before, the year when Making a Murderer came out. I can't remember the date. I want to say it came out on the 12th. So she went on 12/8, went by herself. The next visit after her wasn't until the 17th, and it was Strang and Buting. We're on the 17th. And then on the 25th was Dolores and Carla and her husband and her kids and Alan. So, okay, so right now we've got one time for Kim. There's the second time. Three. It looks like 3 times is going to be it for Kim, and only in 2016. Yeah, she's only 3 times for Kim Ducat. 12/21. Thank you, Sabro. Um, Why do you trespassing? I see. um, so since Kim was brought up, I guess I will go into my news. Um, I am traveling up to Manitowoc tomorrow, and I am going to be meeting with Kim and somebody else from the area who want to talk to me about the case. And we are going to go live. So, whatever I learn, you're going to learn. I do not know if we will put it here in gossip, so it's a little more private, or if we put it on Stephen Avery Project and let it get blasted to everybody. Um, I do not know the timing. I was literally, while I was sitting here doing this, I was texted the address of where I'm going to be going tomorrow. So I still have to put that into my navigation and find out how long it'll take me to get there and plan that out. Um, so that's my little special news is that I'm going to be meeting with Kim and another local tomorrow, and they're going to talk to me about things in this case and things that happen in the Making a Murderer community. Um, people that I don't deal with. I'm basically like the black sheep, I guess, of the Making a Murderer community because I don't have anything to do with the people that do the YouTube things and all that. I have no need to be in their cliques and all that weirdness that goes on with all those people. I am here strictly because I believe in Stephen's innocence, and we're fighting for Stephen to be released. I don't need to be a part of a fan club. Um, Let me scroll. Did the family get to screen Making a Murderer before its public release? No. Nope. Do Chuck, do Chuck. No, you do Chuck. I'm not gonna do Chuck. Chuck's not on the visitors list at all. So, yep. Um, it'd be interesting maybe to see Jody's visitors list to see how many times Chuck made time to go visit Jody, but he doesn't go see his brother. Interesting, huh? Um, yeah, Chuck's not on here at all. So Earl a whopping 19 times in 10 years. And that's only because every time he goes, he's bringing his mom. That's it. Um, Other people, okay, let me scroll. I'll scroll through here from the start and I'll read you names of people I haven't mentioned, but I'm not going to be counting them for whatever reason because it's just not important. So let me go through here. But at the beginning, of this, so July 26, 2010, it's all Sandy, 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 Sandy. And then here's Alan and Dolores. And then Stephen's daughter, Jennifer. All right, so now here's a name, two names that I don't know. Maybe I'll write those down. And maybe you guys know who it is. So it's Judith and Elise, and their last name is Seidler, Siedler. So they visited in 2011. All right. Now there's two people that visited on June 28th, 2011. And it says special visitor not on approved list is Catherine Kershaw and Lisa Woods. Oh, and now here they are. They visited August 10th, 2011, but now it lists them as a professional visit. Um, all right, and here's Catherine Kershaw again, and it's listed as professional. And then here she is again, professional. So she's with the legal team, apparently. There's Catherine Kershaw again. These are all just Sandy, Ellen, and Dolores. We're in 2013 now. Sandy, Ellen, and Dolores for that whole page. Oh, and now it lists her as Reverend Catherine Kershaw and says professional on October 10th, 2013. All Dolores, Alan, and Sandy. Same. This is now we're in 2014 with Barb Taddock's first visit on November 3rd, 2014. Nobody new on that page. Now we're in 2015 where you got Kim Ducat, or Ducat, however you say her name, Strang and Buting. Here's Carla and her family. Kathleen Zellner. Jennifer Avery. Here's Curtis Bussey. So Curtis Bussey's first visit was March 14th, 2016. Curtis is who started Stephen Avery Project. So, and then now here's two people that went together on March 21st, 2016 that I don't know is Krista Caristi, Caristi, and Angela Brefeld, Brefeld. So they visited in March of 2016. Here's another time that Angela went by herself. She didn't go with the other chick. And another time with Angela. Nobody new there. It's all the people that I've said before. Now we've come across Earl's first visit in 2016. Nobody else new. All people I've said. And now here's Lynn Hartman. Gross. Her first visit was September 15th, 2016. So Lynn visited on on the 15th, 16th, and 17th. 3 times in there. And that's all she visited. Here's that Krista Christie again. Whoever she is. Nobody knew. All right, Brittany LaFlash. This is the first time Brittany's gone. Was December 23rd, 2016. She went with her dad, Earl. And so then here's Brittany again. Here's somebody listed in professional that went with Kathleen Zellner is Catherine Thomas. Nobody knew. Nobody knew. And here on November 3rd, 2018 is when Angie Schumann and Tracy Strunzi went for the first time. Those evil twats. And so now they're added into the list of going to visit Stephen for a bunch until he kicks them off. And then the Australian dude went for the first time on March 16th, 2019. He went with Sandy. Or no, wait. Here he is. March 11th was his first time, 2019. Or no, March 9th. Sorry. March 9th. Because he went on March 9th. March 11th, March 14th, March 16th, And then really funny because it's okay. So March 28th, 2019 is Angie and Tracy, which Steven had told me nobody talks more shit about me to him than Tracy Strunzi, the chick that isn't a lawyer but pretends to be one on the internet. Um, so Angie and Tracy visited with on March 28th, and then Sandy Greenman visited on the 29th. And then Steven reached out to me after that. And so then here's my first visit on April 13th because he kicked them off and put me on. So I'm the new person added on in there, but I only saw Steven 3 times. So April 13th, May 26th, and June 16th. So I was going once a month until then Steven cut off contact with me because Sandy told him that I talk shit about his mom. All right, so back to finding anybody new. No. Now that the Australian dude has taken control of Sandy, it is just him, Sandy, and Alan, Dolores, and sometimes Earl or Kayla that takes Dolores. So that's his visitors list. Let me go to your questions or comments. Have you been following since before Making a Murderer aired? No, I had no idea of the case, never heard of it. I watched Making a Murderer actually the weekend it came out on Netflix just because I was snowed in. My boyfriend does snow plowing. So he was out working and I was here by myself looking for something to watch. I like true crime and so I watched it. So I hadn't heard anything about the show or knew anything about it. Severe thunderstorm watch. Yes, Sonia, you are correct. Cheryl, I live in a Chicago suburb. So, all right, here, let me put in this address of where I'm going tomorrow. Where's my navigation? There you are. Two hour and 49 minutes is what it will take for me to get there. It's driving just up Lake Michigan. So a little less than 3 hours. Who visited with Dolores, you asked Heather. Oh, on here, because I'm thinking of Dolores's house, or, at her house, who visited Dolores. So maybe you got that already, because since I've scrolled up. So it's either, she's gone with Alan, she goes with Sandy, or she goes with, when Tracy and Angie were on, she sometimes went with them. But that's a complicated thing too, because Steven told me that Sandy told him to take Angie and Tracy off his visitors list. I know they all act like they're BFFs, but there's all this little cat infighting involved there. And he told me that she was pissed at them because she felt they used her to get access to Steven. And then once they got it, they started going without her. So, like, even in their last visit, like I said, they were there one day and then Sandy was there the next day. So they didn't go together. But then when this whole thing happened and Steven got back in contact with me and put up me on the list, they were claiming that I manipulated Steven to get those two girls off the list, which no, I didn't. I could give two shits on who Steven visits with. It's not my business. I don't care. It's his life. He does what he wants. If he wants to visit me, if he wants me to visit him, I'll visit him. I don't like his family. He knew it the entire time. So once I started visiting Steven, that's when Carla and Sandy and everybody were saying they were going to cut off Steven and only support Brendan, which great supporters you are, that it comes down to who Steven visits with on whether or not you support him. So here I am, cut off. I don't hear from Steven. All the things that Carla and her minions have done to me, and the things that Scott Taddock has posted about me, all the stuff that has been thrown at me because of my support of Steven's innocence, and here I still am, because I could give two shits. Let me scroll. Let's donate some money to Chuck. I know, Sabra. Maybe I'll, that would be interesting to see how many times Chuck visited Jody. But he's never gone to see his brother. Right, Tara. Mm-mm. And Heather says, "Oh, that's the preacher." Is it the hello chick? Praise the Lord. Hello. That chick? Is that who that is? Oh, Sonia says they were the lawyers. And there's Kat saying, "Praise the Lord, hello." Oh my. Oh Lord. Um Gross. Bobby and Scott have never visited Steven. Snooze, knock on wood. Um, Brian, do you mean, are you talking about Brian Dassey, Hazel? He's not on here. He's never visited. Sabra, you are awesome here with the list you're making of everything I've said. Heather, hopefully I answered you on who visited him with Dolores. uh, yeah. Sonia saying, "Be careful putting out address because Kim is getting threats." Yeah, no, we're going some not to her home and stuff, and I would not release that. And I do know because I was just on the phone with somebody before I went live, talking about the going up there, and that I could tease on this, that I was going to be meeting up with Kim, but I said, if I say that, because Carla, hi Carla, I, because she watches all my videos, they're gonna reach out to Kim. Kim is gonna get chewed the fuck out by Carla and maybe Barb for talking to me. And so I got the text message saying Kim don't care. She's not scared. So yeah, so I'll be meeting with Kim tomorrow and we'll go live. And I was on the phone last night with the other person. They haven't for 4 hours talking about the stuff in not just Steven's case, but all these other cases in Manitowoc and the stuff that continues to go on up there. And it's really kind of crazy. And I'm not going to get into it because I don't know it. I'm hearing all this stuff. I've heard some of it over the years, but this is going to be interesting that I'll be in Manitowoc and we're just going to let them talk and tell what they know or what they want to say. And go from there. And maybe we will go on a road trip while we're there. Um, yep. Oh, sorry. I'm just saying, yep, like you guys know what I was reading. Hazel saying, Aussie dude, Mark Hodnott. Um, right, Hazel, but the reward is phony. That reward is such bullshit because you only get it if the real killer goes to jail. So just coming forward saying, so say you were Scott Blodorn and you come forward to say, "Hey, I was with Mike Hallbach and Ryan Hilgas and we put the RAV4 on the salvage yard for Manitowoc Sheriff's Department, that they had us do that and blah blah blah." That's not enough to give him, because it says it is upon the prosecution of the real killer. So it's a phony thing. It's a fake out. Nobody's going to get that money. It's dumb. I mean, I'm pretty sure Kathleen has made some posts saying that she's gotten tips from that or something, but Steven's still in prison. Hasn't done anything. So that guy was just buying his way into the case. Sorry, not sorry. Nope, Blaine has never visited Steven either. Hi, Tracy. Um. Mm-mm-mm. Oh, yeah. Heather's cool. Don't. Yeah, Tom. No worries on Heather. Right, Kat. A lot of unsolved cases in the area, and there's all this talk too of the club, and so some of that stuff was discussed last night. So I'm sure when I'm in Manitowoc tomorrow, we will be discussing the club. Oh, Teresa, you researched too. See, I only did research at the very beginning. When I had first watched Making a Murderer. So like even when if you go on StephenAveryCase.org, where it was crowdsourced, or crowdfunded, or whatever the word is, to get all the documents and stuff and put up on that website, it lists the people that gave money, and I was one of them, because it's like I have to have all these documents and read everything for myself. So I always say I've forgotten more stuff than I knew, because I did so much research then, and I haven't in a long time. So I am not a researcher, but I appreciate all of you that do. And I do know also in this Making a Murderer community that there's lots of people who then take somebody's research and claim it as their own. I am more than happy to say Carol Ann Fitzgerald is the one that contacted Kathleen Zellner and let her know about the bones that were given to the Hallback family in 2011. You know, I'm not going to take anybody's work. I appreciate all you researchers. I'm not smart enough to find out all that information and remember it all. Um, so you researchers are really needed in this case, and fresh eyes are always good. So I tip my hat to all you researchers and what y'all have done with this case. Everybody, Facebook and YouTube and Reddit and Twitter. I'm only on Facebook. I know I was doing some stuff on YouTube, but I'm old and crabby and get off my lawn, so I don't go on all the other platforms because I'm lazy and don't want to learn them. So I'm I'm only here on Facebook. And so I don't follow anybody else's stuff. I don't watch their videos. I don't do any of that. People will message me when there's something of interest. It, and I know I say all the time, and people have ripped on me for it, but I'm still going to keep saying don't care. But if you ever find something of interest, throw it my way, and post it in MAM Gossip. MAM Gossip is a catch all for everything that involves this case and any case. So you're more than welcome to put it here. Just my rules are very simple. Brendan and Stephen are innocent. We're not going to entertain or argue anything other than that. That's innocent. So guilters need not apply here. And I understand everybody's got different theories and you can disagree, but you're not going to attack each other. So once it's going to get into when you're going to talk down to somebody, and not that I'm offended by bad language, but you're not going to talk to another member and call them a fucking idiot for thinking a certain way, blah, blah, blah. And I try my best to keep politics out of here. Not that I'm non-political. I'm very political. I have a whole separate side of my life with my political activism, but this isn't the place for it. So I do not want to get into talking about politics. And so if somebody's going to get in here and start ragging politics or whatever, then you're gone. But other than that, if you come across stuff, you're free to share it from anywhere. But if it's something that's like been researched or whatever, I want that person to get credit. So don't steal anybody's work and post it. Share the work. Sweat DNA. Yeah, don't leave any DNA behind. Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah, I'll have to be careful. Actually maybe I should probably clean my car today because I've got activism stuff written all over my windows right now. But it's kind of obvious my car and my plate has my name on it. Dang, I had said to Jeff I should change my license plate and take my name off my plate, but I haven't done that. And also now I've got the trespassing ticket, so they know my car. Yeah, don't sweat while I'm there. So Kim is what side of the? And I was told last night she from Alan's side, but see, Alan and Dolores are blood related. But when I mentioned that last night too, I guess Kim says that she doesn't know about that. Or so I don't know, but maybe something we'll discuss tomorrow. Bobby, the real killer. Yeah, I know. I I'm still firmly of the belief that it's Bobby. I know that Kim and the person I talked to have different thoughts, and we will probably discuss tomorrow. But to me, everything points to Bobby. But the things they were telling me are very interesting and something to really think about. Right, header. Yeah, arrest and conviction gets you the 100K. Nice fine print. Um don't reveal that. You're ruining the master plan. Um right, Sonia, she can't bring new evidence in the process. Cindy says, I'm so glad I found you. You do a wonderful job. I've thought from the beginning they were innocents. Thank you for what you do. I'm about 25 minutes south of Chicago. I'm west, Cindy. I'm in DuPage County. So, yeah, I'm about a half hour west in good traffic. Or even, I took note of it because I went to Chicago the other day for an event. And we've been doing the Brendan jail calls, and Brendan's prison, only 30 minutes from Barb, and Barb doesn't go visit as often as she should. And I'm like, oh, it took me 42 minutes to get to my friend's house in Chicago. Because I park at her house and then we walk over to where we were going. So I'm like, oh, look at that! I made this drive. It was 42 minutes. It was even longer than it would take Barb to go to the prison. And oh, I'm going back to Chicago on Sunday for another event. um, yeah, Debbie, I think the stuff I heard last night very interesting. So we'll see what happens. Teresa says, don't go to the bathroom at the gas station in Calumet County. When we drove up there, in the ladies' room is a 3-foot wide floor to ceiling mirror. It was odd. I didn't notice it until I already sat down. Oh my God. Does Earl run that? Since he likes to put cameras in bathrooms to watch children change their clothes. I need a PA. Oh, Teresa, so if even like I said, other people's work that you've come across, you research their work, feel free to share it. Sonia, did you know they changed the name convicting a murderer to just convicting? Ooh, no, I didn't know. I didn't know that was even still a thing. I know they tried to shop that around and haven't gotten anywhere with it. Melissa, did you say who the other person is besides Kim you're meeting with tomorrow, or is that private at this time? Somebody, Sonia, did guess who it was. I believe it was Sonia who guessed who it was. So I said they were right, but I'm not outright saying it because they haven't said to say who they are. I don't know if I haven't even told Jeff I'm going. Let me message Jeff. Oops. Stupid thing. I'll message Jeff and tell him I'm going tomorrow. I'm going to Manitowoc tomorrow if you would like to come with me. Okay. Laura asks, are you ever afraid for your safety? No, but probably because I'm dumb. I should worry, right? Um, I've had a lot of threats. Um, I've had in my activism people post pictures of my house to show that they've gone by to look at my house. But it's always just been talk. Chad Keller threatened me with physical violence because he called me a cunt and said he was, oh, sorry, I don't know if there's kids listening, and that's a really bad word. Um, and said he was going to punch me in the face. Every time I've gone to Manitowoc so far, well, no, Jeff didn't go with me one time, but I brought a friend with me because a friend and I were in Milwaukee for something, and Milwaukee's like the halfway point for me to there. So I'm like, well, we're already halfway here. And that's the day I went and visited Dolores. So my friend with me, who I don't think she's even watched Making a Murderer, but she was with me because then since she wanted to, it was so funny. She wanted to see then Steven's trailer. So I drove down the road, to show her Steven's trailer. And Chuck lives in what was Barb's trailer back then, so he's in the trailer next to where Steven had lived, and his chihuahuas came out and chased my car all the way down the road. It was so funny. Yep, I think it's Bobby and Scott helped. Sonia, I'm going to share everything that Kim is comfortable with. So I'm good with whatever. So I don't know what will, like I said, I don't know what will be on the live, and I'm not sure if it will be in Stephen Avery Project or Gossip, because in Gossip we have a little bit more privacy. So like right now there's 70 people on. And when I'm live on Stephen Avery Project, I think the most lately, if I go live on Stephen Avery Project, it's only like 400 people are at one time. But then it's also viewed by, over time, lots more people. So Stephen Avery Project is the public place where you can reach. Like I said at the beginning, Newsweek, the girl that wrote that Newsweek article, she messages Stephen Avery Project to ask me to post it. So we're watched by a lot of different people, but we're watched by, hi Carla, in Gossip. Oh, Jen's late again. And she said, I seen your post about Brendan. I am so pissed. Yeah, but I knew that was going to happen. I knew they were going to deny that. This this governor is better than the last one, but still isn't one that I had faith in. Yeah, Sonia says, I know who she is. She really wants justice for her brother. It involves all the same players. Carol says, I drive 80 miles round trip every day to work, so Barb could easily do it. Um, Haslet, yeah, the Ricky Hacksettler case, that's combined into it. All right, so I'm down at the bottom of y'all. So, how long we've been on? We've been on over an hour now. Is there anything else you guys want to fire at me? Should we end this and go back to do a few of the jail calls? What y'all want to do? And then tomorrow, okay, so say it takes me 3 hours to get up there. So, I could plan on leaving here at 9. So, could get there around noon. Look at me doing math. We could have lunch and discuss. So then probably go live around this time tomorrow. So whatever time is in your time zone. So so how about what I'll do is, for sure we will not go live tomorrow until at least we've hit, so it's 2:10 p.m. here. So as 2 p.m. Central Time. So and maybe does that sound good, the 2 p.m., or would it be better if we tried to go live at an hour earlier, so at the time that I started this one tomorrow? So I'm really bad with that math stuff and all the different time zones. So Cindy and Tom want to do calls. Debbie says, if that guy saw the car on the side of the road, then Making a Murderer 2 shows Bobby getting her on Cuss Road. How did the car end up on the highway? I think Bobby and Scott then put it over there. And then I think it was the cops and with an assist from Ryan Hilgas, Scott Blodorn, and Michael Halbach that got the car over to the salvage yard to plant it. Andrea, the surprise is I'm going to Manitowoc tomorrow, and I'm going to be talking with Kim Ducat and another person from the Manitowoc area about the case, and we will go live. Oh, Tiffany Central. Whoop whoop. Head, yay for the Central. So, all right. Well, then across the road and down a little from Scott's house. Um. Well, Sonia. Okay, so maybe it'll depend then. So like if I'm getting there at noon, and then I'm meeting to eat. So maybe an hour wouldn't be enough time for us to plan out what we're going to go live about, or maybe it will. I don't know. So just be looking from 1 p.m., through 2 p.m. At some time there we'll go live. Carolyn says, who is Kim? Kim is Steven's cousin who is in Making a Murderer. So you see her speak. She has been one of the few people that has been behind Steven the entire time. It seems like it's Kim and Dolores are the only two that, Alan goes and visits. Alan has visited only 44 times in 10 years. But he's not as supportive of Steven as Kim and Dolores are. So, I dislike almost all of the family except for, Kim. I've never had any dealings with Kim whatsoever prior to this. But I've never had any issues with her. I've never seen anything. I've never seen her talk shit about me. Kayla is somebody who I used to have a really sweet relationship with Kayla because I feel for that kid. She was manipulated. She's young. She's, not the brightest. She's picked on and bullied, and she's got a lot of issues, and I know she loves Dolores dearly. She calls Dolores her best friend. And Dolores is her grandma. Kayla came out swinging at me eventually because Carla got to her. Because she got back in nicey nice with Carla, and then it's like everybody has to hate me. So I've never Kim's been like a non-entity to me. So I've never thought much of her one way or the other than knowing that she's always been supportive of Steven. So I've never had any beef with her. Kayla, even though she messaged me and said nasty things to me, I don't have any ill will towards Kayla, and I have no ill will towards Dolores. I really feel towards Dolores. Chuck, Earl, Carla, Bobby. Oh, I don't have any ill feelings towards Blaine or Brian either. You know, um, but so there you go. Carol Ann says that's where the RAV4 was on the highway, a short distance from Scott's house. We have done videos. I've gone up to Manitowoc before and filmed those areas. So if you go into the videos on MAM Gossip, you can find my past trips to Manitowoc, to where I went to that little bridge, and I showed you how close that was to the house that then Scott and Barb bought. And also it's still very close to the salvage yard. We timed it. I don't remember what those times were because of course they're numbers, but they're in those videos of how long it takes me to drive from Barb's new house to the yard, and from Barb's house to the Cuss Road and the bridge and all that. They're really close. And Jeff's talked about at times too to bring his drone, and I know we've seen overhead, flyover video and stuff, and that's why I did the trust passing at the deer camp, because I needed to get up on that berm to show you just how close the salvage yard is to Cuss Road if you go as the crow flies. But even when you drive it, it's not that long to, go around it. It's a lot of land, but they're really close. So, oh wait, what is somebody saying about zippers? Carol, I have to scroll up and get it. Did KZ say that Teresa went to the Zippers after she left Stevens? Yeah, that's in her brief from yesterday. Because Joellen Zipperer said that she was there around 3, right? And she was at Stevens at 2:30 or something like that. And I've also done videos of timing the drive from the salvage yard to the Zippers. So you can find that in our videos too. And who knows what I'll end up doing tomorrow. You know, because while I'm up there. Oh, sorry, Avery family, if you were planning a trip to Crivets for the weekend. Because now they're going to be on alert. Because the last time I was there, I started getting messages from Earl, threatening messages about me. Because as soon as Carla watched my live video and saw that I had been in Manitowoc, that's when Carla contacted Earl and Chuck. And then Chuck went to Redant to tell him I was on his property. And then Redant called the police and reported me for trespassing and used my own video here in Gossip to get me because you saw my reflection. It's a shadowy reflection of me in my window, because as I was walking through the deer camp, Jeff was driving my car and following me. And so that's how there's their proof that I was trespassing, even though where you go onto the deer camp road from Cuss Road, there was no sign saying no trespassing. It just looks like this dirt path in the woods there. Now there is, because Jeff and I went up there for something else, or another time that we were filming. And so I think there's a no trespassing sign up there now at the deer camp road. Maybe we'll check it out tomorrow. And the Avery family will all be freaking out that I'm there and I better not come on their property. And then that's when Earl had even said to me last time too that I can't even go by the Avery sign by the street because he claims he rents that property out there too, and that's his too. And I can't go by that sign. So I went by the sign anyway. Take someone else's car. Well, if Jeff goes with me, Jeff's got a million cars. Could take one of his instead of my car. So, all right, I'm going to end this. What time are we at? 2:20. All right, we'll go into one of, we'll do an hour of the jail calls. We'll do an hour video, and I'll go from there to see if we do more than that one. So I'll see you in a few minutes. Find me over there.